Rangers supporters, what a night it has been and what a wave of emotion has swept across the fan base after that latest chapter in the season. The victory over St. Mirren by 2 goals was not just a routine league win. It felt like a statement, a reminder that this group is still in the fight and still capable of pushing for something meaningful. The gap at the top is now down to 6 points, and while no one inside Ibrox is claiming to be favourites, there is a growing belief that the title race is not finished. Rangers are playing like contenders, like improving step by step and building the type of confidence that makes every upcoming fixture feel heavier, louder, and more important. It is not about shouting from rooftops or declaring triumphs before they exist. It is simply about holding on to the belief that there is something here to be built upon. On the other side of Glasgow, the mood could not be more different. Celtic have slipped again. Another defeat, their 5th loss under the new manager, and that has stirred a storm among their supporters, while Rangers are tightening shape, finding rhythm and looking more organised. Celtic appear lost, frustrated, and frayed around the edges. Their fans are venting with a rawness that feels like the whole foundation is shaking, calling their situation a watershed moment, something that exposes more than just poor form. The contrast in energy between the two clubs right now is remarkable. Rangers are improving, while Celtic appear to be stumbling deeper into doubt, and every matchday seems to widen the emotional gap. The scenes described by their own supporters tell the story. They are speaking of panic at the back, a lack of confidence in possession, players unsure of what to do when the press arrives, and goals being conceded far too easily. They are speaking of a manager still struggling to imprint an identity after 7 matches, 5 matches, whatever number anyone wants to claim, because the exact count hardly matters when the overall impression is the same. They are calling it embarrassing, calling it painful, calling it a moment where trust is being cracked open. Meanwhile, Rangers are building structure, moving with purpose, and looking like a team that has bought into the demands being placed on them. The frustration from over there is so intense that some supporters are even questioning why the manager was hired in the first place. They point to resources, to finances, to squads that should be doing better, to performances that are simply not acceptable for a club of that stature. They speak about needing clean sheets, defensive organisation, evidence of progress. But what they describe instead is a team being outrun, outfought, and even outthought by opponents who look better coached and better prepared. They talk about teams with far less financial strength still finding ways to compete because they are organised and disciplined, while Celtic are cracking under pressure for a support that expects dominance, expecting to control matches. This is a slap of reality they were clearly not prepared for. Rangers fans will recognise this type of meltdown. They have lived through their own moments of doubt in years gone by, points where everything felt fragile. But right now the shoe is on the other foot. Rangers are solidifying, Celtic are scrambling, and the emotional responses from their support make that clear. They speak about players who look scared on the ball, players who cannot complete basic passes, players who look like the weight of expectation is suffocating them. They speak about managers avoiding press conferences, avoiding responsibility, repeating the same phrases with no answers. They are even predicting defeats before matches kick off, convinced that certain fixtures are already lost before a ball is struck. That kind of mindset seeps into a dressing room and spreads like smoke. From the Rangers' perspective, the key is to stay grounded. Reducing the gap by 6 points means nothing if the next matches are not approached with the same intensity. There is no trophy for closing a gap in December or January, and no banners raised for psychological victories. But what does matter is momentum, and Rangers have that right now. Players are pulling together, working with clarity, battling for every inch. Even matches that are not perfect are being won through effort, structure, and belief. That is how title races are sustained, not by shouting that the league is already won, but by winning the next match and then the next one after that. As for Celtic, their supporters keep calling this the breaking point, the moment where masks fall and truths are exposed. They speak of this as the type of moment that will be remembered, the type of match that forces decisions at board level, the type of performance that reveals whether the club has the backbone to respond. They accuse their team of panic under pressure, of losing shape, of lacking leadership on the park. They describe misplaced passes, heads dropping, supporters leaving early, and a general sense that everything feels fragile. They highlight games where opponents with far fewer resources marched into the stadium and outplayed them, controlled them, and made them look lost. The drama intensifies when you hear about predictions being made before kickoff, fans saying privately that they expected to lose, and not narrowly but heavily. They speak of expecting to be battered, of performances so bad that they feel ashamed, of players who look disconnected from the instructions being shouted from the touchline. They compare themselves to teams with less talent but more clarity. They talk about being passed off the park, pressed into errors, and made to look ordinary by sides that simply executed their plan better. This is not about one bad night. They are calling it a pattern, a cycle, a sign of something deeper and more worrying. Meanwhile, at Rangers, the belief is quiet, but it is growing. Not loud proclamations, not bragging, but something steadier. A sense that this squad can compete. A sense that improvements are real. A sense that if the focus remains sharp, the season can still turn into something memorable. There is a long way to go, so much still to play, and nothing guaranteed. But Rangers feel alive in this race, and as long as that feeling lasts, the story of this league will continue to twist and turn with every match that comes. The reaction across the city has reached a point where even their own supporters are questioning everything from the structure of the team to the mentality of the squad. They talk about a backline that looks fragile every time pressure arrives, midfielders who cannot dictate rhythm, and forwards who feel isolated when possession collapses behind them. It is the type of collective uncertainty that spreads fast. Once doubt settles in, every misplaced pass feels heavier, every conceded goal feels like a confirmation of the worst fears. From their perspective, this was never supposed to happen so quickly. A new manager was meant to bring clarity, but instead it has brought confusion. That is why some of them are calling this a watershed moment, not as an exaggeration, but as an honest reflection of how severe the performance gap looked. Rangers, on the other hand, are beginning to understand the power of consistency. It is not just about the goals or the results. It is about building the habits that survive difficult moments. When St. Mirren pushed, Rangers did not crumble. When decisions went against them, they stayed calm. When the match required control rather than chaos, players adapted instead of panicking. Those are the small steps that turn into belief. In title races, belief is not created by speeches or slogans, but by moments on the park where players look at each other and know they are capable. That type of confidence cannot be faked. You earn it through structure, discipline, and the willingness to fight for every loose ball as if the season depends on it. There is something noticeable about how Rangers are handling expectations. No one is shouting that they are champions already. No one is promising trophies, and no one is pretending the journey will be simple. But quietly, performances are improving. Defensively, there is more organization. In midfield, there is more balance. In attack, there is more threat, more speed, more purpose when approaching the final third. Even when a match gets scrappy, there is a resilience there. It is not perfect, but it is progressing, and that is exactly what a title challenge looks like in its early form. It starts as a spark and becomes something stronger. Only if the work continues, their rivals are experiencing the opposite. Their supporters speak like they are waiting for something to buckle entirely, like the foundation is creaking under every setback. They list the matches where the defense fell apart, where the midfield lost control, where opponents with smaller budgets came in and made them look ordinary. They talk about a dugout that appears lost for solutions, a squad that looks short of confidence, and a board that may be forced into decisions sooner than expected. They are pointing fingers in every direction, and when a fan base spreads blame that widely, you know the frustration has reached a breaking point. Rangers do not need to obsess over Celtic's problems, but they can certainly recognize what they represent: an opportunity, not a guaranteed path to silverware, but a window, a moment in the season where momentum can be claimed and pressure placed on the league leaders with every passing fixture. The job is not to laugh from a distance, even if supporters will enjoy the chaos. The job for the players is to step into that space and make it count. Every match from here on has a weight to it, and Rangers must treat each one as if it can shape the title race. It is a demand, but it is also a privilege. Being in the hunt means you matter. There is also something to be said about emotional control. Their rivals are consumed by frustration. Rangers cannot afford to be. If a match becomes frantic, Rangers need composure. If decisions go against them, they need discipline. If opponents score first, they need patience. Champions, or those who come close, separate themselves through how they react when everything is against them. That is why this period is crucial. The club cannot allow adrenaline alone to guide them. It must be tempered by clarity, and right now, clarity looks like understanding who they are becoming as a team. As the gap narrows, the narrative changes. A few weeks ago, the league table looked like a mountain. Now it looks like a climb that can be made with the right steps. That shift does not guarantee anything, but it changes the temperature of the season. It puts pressure on those above and gives hope to those behind. Rangers must be careful not to think the job is done just because momentum has arrived. Momentum is fragile. It disappears the moment a performance drops. So the demand now is consistency, not flashes of brilliance. If the team can keep building, keep improving, keep defending with authority, then this title race will remain alive into its decisive stages. Meanwhile, their rivals are talking as though every match has become a referendum on the manager's credibility. They argue about tactics, identity, leadership, and direction. They call for changes with the type of emotion that suggests patience has already evaporated. Some are convinced that losing the next big fixture will break what remains of the support's confidence. Others are already talking about replacements, listing names, debating profiles, arguing about what style they should pursue. They speak like a club that is not just losing matches, but losing identity. Rangers cannot write their season based on Celtic struggles. The focus must remain internal. But confidence grows when your opponent falters, and there is nothing wrong with acknowledging that. When a rival stumbles, the task is simple: apply pressure, win your matches, force them to respond, make them prove they can handle the weight. That is how title races are shaped, not by hoping the other side collapses, but by leaving them no room to breathe. What happens next will say everything about where this season is heading. Fixtures are coming quickly, points are there to be claimed, and every result will shift the narrative. Rangers have earned the right to be in the conversation again, not through noise, but through performance. The next step is to stay there. The next step is to make every match feel like a declaration of intent. The next step is to show that closing the gap was not a one-off swing, but the beginning of something. Before we continue, make sure to subscribe to our channel and turn on notifications to get all the exclusive news about Rangers FC. Don't overlook any details about your beloved team. It's crucial for Rangers FC fans. Whispers are swirling around Ibrox as speculation mounts over the future of Bojan Mioski, the towering striker whose presence in the Rangers attack has been both notable and polarizing. Sources close to the club suggest that talks regarding Mioski's departure are quietly gaining momentum, with several European sides reportedly keeping a keen eye on the Macedonian international. While nothing has been officially confirmed, the murmurs in the corridors of Scottish football point to a potential exit that could reshape the Gers forward line. Mioski, who has been with Rangers for a period that has seen both highs and lows, is said to have attracted interest not only from mid-table teams across Europe, but also from more ambitious outfits looking for a target man capable of leading the line. His physical presence and aerial ability make him a rare commodity, and insiders claim that his camp is exploring opportunities that might offer more consistent first-team football and the chance to compete on a continental stage. At Ibrox, the uncertainty is palpable. Fans are divided, with some lamenting the possible loss of a striker who has provided key moments in big matches, while others argue that a fresh approach in the attacking department could breathe new life into Steven Gerrard's, or whoever may currently be in charge, tactical setup. Club executives, meanwhile, are said to be weighing the financial implications carefully, with the prospect of a transfer fee that could bolster other areas of the squad, providing a potential silver lining. Football analysts have pointed out that Mioski's style, combining strength and a knack for finding space in crowded penalty areas, is well suited to several leagues in Europe, particularly those in Italy and Germany, where a move could see him flourish. Meanwhile, the Scottish Premiership is bracing for a period of speculation that seems almost inevitable whenever Rangers transfer plans are hinted at behind closed doors. As the rumour mill turns, all eyes are on Ibrox. Will Mioski remain a Red, ready to lead the line through another campaign? Or is the striker on the cusp of a new adventure abroad? For now, the story is one of anticipation, whispers, and unanswered questions, keeping supporters and rivals alike guessing about the shape of Rangers' attacking future. Greetings, fans. Make sure to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel, as it's greatly appreciated by Rangers FC. And don't forget to share your thoughts on the news in the comments section below. Until the next video, stay tuned